The IDubbbz situation has gotten much worse. IDubbbz has just responded to the clip of Ethan getting sent human skulls in the mail, and he ends up laughing about it. Apparently his empathy meter was empty today. In response to this, Ethan actually exposes IDubbbz's dating history and the fact that Anissa was his first girlfriend. Now remember last video how we saw Hassan and friends reacting to the shooting of 2 Israeli diplomats, saying that they were genuine in their actions? Well, Ethan is rightfully really mad about that, and he talks about it on their podcast. We also have the daily Hassan meltdown calling Asmongold a cockroach and losing his mind at the thought of mainstream media calling him out. So we're gonna check all of that out. Subscribe, we're trying to reach 1 million subs. Check out the playlist and let's begin. So it starts with this clip by IDubbbz. IDubbbz shows off his empathy when talking about Skullgate. I thought the skulls thing was kind of humorous.
One last question. Did you send the skulls? What is your opinion on the skulls, and did you send them?
I didn't send the skulls. I don't know. I thought the skulls thing was kind of humorous to hear that, especially when I heard that they were like from skulls.com or some shit like that. That made it funny.
Yeah, just like a death threat to a father, a family.
Yeah. Was it a death threat?
I'm just kidding. Yeah, no. Skulls.com with the serial number still attached and the packaging still on it.
To be honest, I didn't know anything about it because I think it was linked to as like was it a response to my content com?
Yeah, very humorous. Just a prank, bro. Sending human skulls to someone's house. By the way, IDubbbz tries to make it out like these are toys and not real skulls. Like, oh, it's from a website. But these were actually real human skulls sent to their house. Yes, somebody purchased it, but doesn't mean that they weren't real. I mean, believe it or not, Diet Hassan here actually had a rare moment of honesty and acknowledged that it was a death threat to Ethan and Elo, or maybe their kids. And then he got really serious about it, but then immediately decided to push back any semblance of humanity and settle that it was just a harmless joke. By the way, same guy who was making excuses for the murder of 2 people. Just absolute psychos. So anyways, Ethan responds.
One last question. Did you send the skulls? What is your opinion on the skulls?
Why would you ask that? Like,
because they think it's a joke.
Yeah.
They think it's funny. They like that it happened. And then also they say that I'm lying. I'm lying. I sent it myself. It never happened. But also it's funny and we love it that it happened. That's basically everything.
I thought the skulls thing was kind of humorous to hear that.
So
that sounds pretty funny to me, bud.
That empathy unlocked thing that you were talking about, I don't believe it anymore. I think there's 0. I don't think you're even at 20%.
Well, I don't know what's not funny about receiving human skulls in the mail.
Especially when I heard that they were like from skulls.com or some shit like that.
Skulls Unlimited, which is the only place, by the way, in the entire America that sells skulls.
Is that
They
true?
are real.
I think so. They're like an exclusive retailer because guess what? It's not easy to obtain human skulls and sell them. That's generally a very dicey business to be in.
Yeah. I'm. You know what? I'm glad there's only one place.
Yeah.
They are real, though. He's talking about it like it's some kind of prop or something.
Yeah.
That was a real human skull. Yeah.
Okay, so basically some insane psychopath decided to purchase skulls from the only website in America that actually sells them and then mail it over to Ethan's house. And IDubbbz and friends find that hilarious. They actually don't think it's serious at all. And in Hassan's own words, I think that's a little brain broken. Honestly, I think IDubbbz needs a chug jug. Like, he must have ran out of empathy. He needs to drink something, gotta refill that fucking meter. But I think it's so disgusting that you can't even acknowledge that this was wrong, that this was seriously messed up. I mean, we literally just had 2 murders committed over all of this sort of rhetoric, and they still think that all of this is a joke. Like, you guys are fucking dangerous, man, the way you just dehumanize people. Now, anyways, in response to this, Ethan decides to expose some information about IDubbbz. Ethan confirms Ian's dating history, was a virgin, never kissed a girl, met Anissa who took his virginity and everything else.
In honor of Hassan, the IDubbbz finding this funny, there's a certain piece of information that I've known about him that I've been holding my tongue because I was talking to him, we were hanging out, we just did a video, and I started asking him about his like his love life. I was curious because I've just never seen him. And I was like, do you get out? How do you meet people, you know? Because he's kind of just like living in like, he was living by himself with like his parents or some shit. And I was like, And he was a successful YouTuber. I was like, what's going on, man? I was trying to help my boy out.
That was like his golden era.
In his golden era, yeah. And he told me that he had never had a girlfriend. He had never been with a girl. He'd almost practically never even talked to a girl romantically. And this was right before he started dating Anissa. He was a virgin. He had never even kissed a girl. And then he met Anissa, who took his virginity and everything else. But also, that's just the context there. A little funny gag. It's a humorous little gag. I like the detail. It's funny.
Okay, this was kind of random by Ethan, but I guess everyone is just being really shitty to him, so he's sort of fighting back with the same sort of energy here. I'm gonna give like a sort of controversial opinion here. It's not really, but I think people are really quite brain dead nowadays, so people might get mad at me, but I don't really think it's a bad thing to just be with one person. I think it should probably be encouraged a little bit more because it's better than being with like 50 people and just hating your life, right? And I think ideally you just find your one partner and you stick with them and you build a life together. I think that's actually to be celebrated, and that's pretty wholesome. And you know, some people want to save themselves or whatever for the one, and I think that's totally fine too. Now, not saying that's what IDubbbz was doing, just saying in general, I feel like this sort of shaming is really weird. But I do get the point he's making. I think the real point he's trying to make is that IDubbbz was starved for attention, and then when he got Anissa, he would basically do anything to make her happy, and I'm guessing he changed his entire personality for her, and he would bend to her every whim, and essentially became a hollow version of his former self, and that you gotta watch out for, right? Never let your girlfriend or boyfriend or husband or wife or whatever change the real you, right? Of course, you can grow together, you can change together, but don't let them change the core values that you know are right? And doing all of this for an OnlyFans girl, that is diabolical, all right? That is absolutely tragic. You know, I would maybe possibly understand if this was some sort of unicorn girl, maybe like the best, nicest, most amazing person in the world, and you're just so much in love that maybe you change for her, right? But Anissa, really? This trashy, horrible OF girl? You can't be serious, dog. Reminder to never date an OnlyFans girl, and we just got, dude, this picture of him is so sad. So Anissa responds here saying, why are you so sexually invested in us? Do I phone 911? A priest? Who do I call to get him help? I think it's just a matter of self-respect, to be honest. I think if you're really sort of like secure in yourself and you know your worth and your value, you wouldn't deal with someone like Anissa, right? Who is just tramping all over you, doing whatever the hell she wants, humiliating you on the internet. You'd kind of just leave and not tolerate any of that disrespect, right? Please gather to pray for this man who lost his V card and last name to an OnlyFans e-girl. Anissa asks the question, why does Ethan Klein hate hot people? Is this hot? Where do I get this kind of body dysmorphia? Bro, people are insane. Anyways, after this, Ethan explains why he decided to expose IDubbbz. I never planned on sharing that story, but after seeing him call the skulls humorous, I realized that there is nothing they won't say or do, so I'm returning the favor. To be fair, I don't think this is equivalent at all. What Ethan did is very like minuscule in this sense. My boy has not been so much as touched by the opposite sex before Anissa. In itself, it's not a big deal, but in the context of the relationship, I find it very humorous. Yeah, that's basically what I was saying as well. I feel like the story is starting to make much more sense now as to why Ian is giving everything for this girl. So he's a man in his 30s with a single body. If it wasn't Anissa, this could be commendable. IDubbbz chimes in after Ethan exposed his dating history. He wants that incel audience bad. Oh my god, bro. Can somebody give this guy a dictionary? Do you know the meaning of that word, bro? Oh my lord. It's a tragically simple explanation for this man's downfall. Literally got groomed by the first woman that gave him the time of day. So did he learn empathy before or after losing his virginity? My god. Ian wants the cuckold audience back. Anyways, after this, Ethan talks about the shooting and how sort of like scared he is.
It's one thing to read and be like, they were murdered and that's horrible. But then you read like he went up, he shot them in the back. And then the girl was trying to crawl away and he went up and shot her in the head twice. And then the guy stood up and tried to help her, and he shot him in the head again. Like he assassinated them both in cold blood.
Yeah. This is what we all knew from that first episode after October 7, where you and Hassan were talking about what happened, and Hassan would refuse to show any tiny bit of empathy to the Israeli side.
This is what you've been doing. You've been building intentionally. There's no other outcome that makes sense than this. When you dehumanize an entire group of people, when you describe, Hassan described, anyone who's ever had any type of Zionist feelings in their life is not fit to be a dog catcher who's a Nazi. These people who were murdered, who people are celebrating now online and making excuses for and this and that, there's essentially no difference between them and us. They're just two Israelis that happen to be in the wrong place at the wrong time.
I think it's really scary how polarized people actually are. And I think it's really scary how dumb people are, how easily manipulated people are. I've said something similar before, but I think NPCs do actually exist, like legitimate non-playable characters who have no train of thought by themselves, and they just sort of blindly follow some leader. Now, this next part, he talks about Diet Hassan, or Nice Guy Hassan, as Think Before You Sleep would call him.
This is what happened when Noah Samson makes a video saying, protesting is not working. We know where they are. We know where the propagandists are. And we know, and we need to step it up. We know where they are, and we need to step it up. He refers to all Zionists as
he also
Nazis.
Yes.
Well, now people think there's nothing you could do to a Nazi that would be out of pocket, right? Murder all Nazis, right? That's how evil they are. Right. So when they say, "Oh, they're Nazis," this is giving permission.
Okay, so everything is on the table.
Everything's on the table.
Yeah, no one needs to be on a list. This guy is fucking cooked in the head. That is like the closest thing to inciting violence. Bro's like, we got access to the people, the government, the guns. I mean, what does that even mean? That is like one step before telling people to just go out there, you know? We need 24/7 surveillance on Noah. Make sure he doesn't have any access to guns. Also, does anybody find it so ironic that the people who keep talking about Jews negatively are like the other side are Nazis? Like, what is going on, man?
That I don't feel safe, because the way that people talk about me and Hila being fucking terrorists, baby killers, propagandists, genociders, right? Everything bad that you could say. They say if you tell from the people who talk about me, I'm as bad as it gets.
I don't know what happened to the left. Like, what happened to inclusion, to understanding different backgrounds and different cultures?
It's the consent. It's the ease. It's the comfortability that people have with violence against us. Dehumanizing language, being platformed mainstream,
and seeing
being platformed by New York Times.
Yeah, exactly.
By the CEO of Twitch saying this is his favorite creator.
Yeah, seeing it on all levels.
The people are comfortable with the idea, and as people get more comfortable, guess what's going to happen?
It really has gone way too far, man. I'm just hoping nobody else gets shot or murdered, because, you know, it's honestly getting a little too deep for me. You know, I'm just here to cover YouTube drama, talk about some lighthearted stuff, and mostly my channel is about making fun of idiots on the internet, right? And these particular idiots just happen to be treading into that territory of getting super dangerous as well. And I'm a bit concerned for people's safety, but, you know, let's just pray that everybody comes to their senses here.
2 pro-peace Jews dead. Read what they were saying.
What were they saying?
What
Show
were
us.
they saying?
Yeah.
Pro-peace is...
This guy doesn't know anything. It's always like, oh no, you need to go figure this out, and just until then, trust everything I'm saying.
Crazy.
I highly doubt Noah knew anything about the victims there. He just wanted to side with the killers, the terrorists, the evil freaks. I will never understand why it is so hard to just disavow murder. Then Ethan reacts to Mike from PA saying that the murders were a setup.
Women recoil when he enters the room. Literally sand. I'm telling you, sand falls from women's vaginas like an hourglass. Like an hourglass counting down your fertility. You lose fertility when he walks in the room with you. Your viable egg count drops.
For Israel. And they attacked low-level staffers. Perfect timing for Israel, and attacks people that are expendable. They aren't even, they're Christians. The Christian Zionists get killed.
Bro, they're Israeli.
What?
Completely expendable.
Expendable to who?
He's saying it's a psyop that we sent in our most disposable grunts so that we could have this guy kill them.
Bro, Ethan is ruthless with that egg count shit, bro. But honestly, how is the global rank #1 simp, Mike from PA, saying that Israel sent their own people and killed them? Like, just so it would radicalize people. I mean, it's not surprising from the side that routinely defends Hamas. I mean, they do also kind of use civilians as human shields and stuff. So that logic kind of tracks if you're that brain broken. Anyways, moving on to Hassan molding at mainstream media.
All over the place. If you go into a synagogue,
I like that she didn't even push back, by the way, which is, again, journalistic malpractice. Shouts out to the CNN anchor who was just letting my man go off and defame the fuck out of me. Like, what are you doing? There are other journalists on your platform that have literally asked me to go on their shows. There are other journalists on your platform that have done extensive coverage on what I do, including me targeting disinformation and anti-Semitic narratives. It's not just Donny O'Sullivan either. There's plenty of other. It's like crazy that you just like let him fucking spit like this.
Wait a minute, Hassan mad at CNN? Doesn't this guy love the mainstream media? Oh, wait, it's only when they suck him off. Right, Hassan actually getting a taste of his own medicine now. Why don't you just get your billionaire dad or your multi-millionaire uncle? Maybe they'll go ahead and pull some strings for you.
Like, the bodies haven't even gotten cold yet, and Jonathan Greenblatt goes on CNN to be like, you know who killed these people? Hassan played a big role in this. It's like there is unprecedented amount of overt anti-Semitism out there, and this fucking freak is looking to blame someone like myself for it. You are just such an unserious charlatan, dude. Quit, okay? Resign in disgrace. Disband the organization. Stop doing this.
Of this gamer, Hassan Piker, who regularly employs awful genocidal rhetoric against Jewish people in the Jewish state. Like, extremists.
Like, that's so psychotic to say. No, I don't. Okay? No, the fuck I don't. Against Jewish people. Genocidal rhetoric that I regularly apply. Also, gamer? I haven't played a fucking video game in months.
Okay, first off, thank you, Hassan, for distancing yourself from the term gamer. That is one thing we can all agree on. This is the first honest thing Hassan has ever said. He should not be called a gamer. But anyways, the reason he's mad is that they didn't call him like a journalist or something, or maybe an on-the-ground reporter, which is just funny, honestly. Like, they don't take you that seriously. Anyways, let's move on to Hassan calling Asman a cockroach.
Let's all sit together and say a collective thank you to the government for keeping us safe.
Shut the fuck up, you fucking cockroach. Oh my God.
So mad.
What a disgusting little creature this is. What a disgusting little creature. Thank you for defending our nation state.
Yes.
To the Trump administration for detaining.
So he says thank you. Listen to it again.
Thank you for defending our nation state.
Finally. That's all we were asking for.
Detaining a Twitch streamer. Asmongold is
me.
such a fucking liar on this issue.
What am I lying about?
He knows that I am not a fucking dangerous entity.
But do you think the government knows that?
This isn't a music video, Hassan. We think the Houthis, Ansar Allah, is doing what Luffy would do. I believe what the Houthis are doing is a good thing. 10 toes fucking down.
No, they have to check. You didn't get arrested because you weren't. But to say that he does not act as a radicalizing force is crazy when you're talking about supporting or not having a problem with active terrorist organizations.
That's what this is. Gonna get clipped so hard, man. Suck my dick. Shut the fuck up about clipping, please. Oh my God. Yes, I am talking about white supremacy, okay? Yes.
Can we get an F in the chat for the doggo? What a good boy. But anyways, have you guys noticed that whenever you watch Hassan versus Asmongold, I noticed that Hassan is always screaming and losing his mind and hurling insults, calling him names. Asman is just chilling. He's just effortlessly destroying him in viewership, in the argument, in every metric there is. This is humiliating, man. Just take the L and move on. Now we got some clips of Tectone talking about how he's probably not going to go to TwitchCon because he feels unsafe.
And I'm so worried that if this behavior isn't addressed, if this shit isn't punished fully, there's no way I would be going to TwitchCon this year. Because like this is scary shit, guys. This is scary shit. I would feel so uncomfortable existing, knowing how many people of that convention are consuming this content. I absolutely would not go. That.
Now, if there's any OG Pegasus fans in the audience, you know.
You're going to call it a HouthieCon. That's insane.
Wait a minute. He's watching a legendary YouTuber. That's me, baby. King of the Slop, legendary yapper. Subscribe. But yeah, honestly, my advice, do not go to TwitchCon. There will possibly, maybe, probably be a mentally ill Hassan fan waiting there for you. Mike from PA is going to try and throw a punch. My God. He's probably going to get beaten up by himself. It's like, you know that one episode from SpongeBob where Patrick just beats himself up to make SpongeBob look good? No, but honestly, it's so simple for Twitch to fix this. Ban Hassan and ban every Hassan clone and tell the CEO to stop gooning, bro. It is wrecking his brain. Now click this video or you gotta get whatever this is. Yikes, man. All right, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.